Welcome again, dear listeners, as we continue the tale of the clerics as they continue their search through the mysterious House of Death. Durst Manor, when we last left our rabble of reverends. They had made a grim discovery, the skeletal remains of who they believed to be Rose and Thorn. As Graves knelt to perform rites of the Lady of Graves to aid in sending the children's souls safely to the boneyard, Herbert turned his attention to the dollhouse. As he reached out to touch it, a familiar voice spoke out demanding he leave the house alone. Appearing in the room before the clerics were the spectral figures of Rose and Thorn. They had no memory of meeting the party outside and claimed that they had in fact been dead for some time, long enough for what sounded like other adventuring parties to come to the manor. The clerics learned from the children about a secret passage to the basement in the room where the nursemaid's body had been found, and another in Gustav's study. As Rose opened the passage on the replica, the clerics heard the real passage opening nearby, with Graves, Herbert, and Konareth all having taken significant damage from the fight. They took Rose and Thorn up on the offer to rest in their room. During their rest, Herbert watched Graves brutally attack Konareth like an animal, but after waking, quickly realized it was but a nightmare. At Rose's request, Graves wrapped Rose in Thorn's bones in ceremonial cloths and placed them carefully in Konareth's pack to take to the basement. Far below in the basement, the group began hearing a constant drone of distant chanting. The clerics also found a recently used kitchen and what appeared to be beds for servants, but no person or creature to be found. A room with a well standing in the center was found later on. Numerous private quarters surrounded the room, where the clerics found several items, along with a very incriminating letter from Elizabeth Durst. The letter seemingly implied the presence of a monster and her attempts to provide sacrifices to banish it. The most recent, likely to have been Walter. Phony books on dark rituals combined with a journal noting many specific sacrifices confirmed that the lady of the house was recklessly experimenting with dark forces. Coming to a fork in the tunnels, the clerics distinctly heard the chanting growing louder down one path, but decided to see ahead the other way, plotting a possible escape route. This chamber did indeed lead back to the stairs, but also ominously housed the bones of numerous victims described in the journal. As the clerics returned to the fork, Konareth and Onyx stepped upon trapped floorboards and fell into a spiked pit below. They began climbing up the other side, but Lancelot, who had gone around another path, let out a yelp of pain. As the pup bounded back into view, a horrid undead ghoul followed behind, rushing towards the clerics.